All right, guys, UFC Vegas 105 was so shit that I'm going to be doing a combination recap and matchmaking video. Not too many people that really want to matchmake here, but I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go through the event, give a mini recap on it because it was really just a shit card. There's not much to talk about. I told you guys this was going to be a terrible card. Usually these Apex cards randomly have out of nowhere. There have been some good ones with great finishes, but this one sucked. It was really, really bad, and we're on a little bit of a cold streak the past three events in the UFC, but you know what? UFC 314 is this weekend, and those prediction videos are coming out later this week. It's going to be a great card. Very 50-50, but let's just get into this because I told y'all to a T. Right? I don't like to brag or anything. I fucking love to brag. I told y'all how this main event was going to go. 49-46, 50-45, boring decision from Lerone Murphy. I actually think it should have been a 49-46 clear. First round, a lot of people gave to Emmett, but I think the elbows would split Josh Emmett open from Lerone Murphy, so I do think that damage was not caused from a head clash. I kind of thought it was 50-45 Murphy. It is what it is. It was such a shitty, dull fight anyway, dude. It was terrible. It was boring. Like I say, like tapping at the legs, landing a lot of teep kicks, throwing out the jab. That's all it was. It was just it was a shit fight. It really was. It was very, very shitty. Emmett just is not high output at all. Like when he can get someone back to the fence, he'll start throwing, but he has trouble cutting people off. Just not very high output, and it's what was going to lose him the decision. It's kind of what I talked about. If he can't chin Murphy, he's just going to get outdone in the point style fashion. It's exactly what happened. And I think Murphy, he's calling out big up. I want big names. I want big names. I don't think he did himself any favors. It's all going to depend how things shake out at the UFC this weekend, but Lerone Murphy's now in a position where he's calling for big names, and I don't think he's getting an Ortega fight. I don't think he's getting a Movsar fight. I don't think he's getting an Arnold Allen fight. Again, I'm going to give him a kind of big... It's a decent step in competition, and this is because it's going to be dependent on what happens this week. I think he's going to get the loser of Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull for Doom. Oh my God, I don't know. Pitbull of Doom. No, I really do think it's going to be Lerone Murphy versus the loser of Yair versus Pitbull. The timeline's going to match up. It's going to be one of those fights where, like, if Yair loses, he's probably going down a couple spots in the rankings. Going to be close to where Lerone Murphy's going to be sitting at around 8 or 9. And if Pitbull loses, they'll probably just put him right at the 10 spot. It makes sense for a matchup. Whoever loses, that's who he's going to get. You're not going to get the Movsar name, the Arnold. You're not going to get like a top 5 guy with that shit performance. Max is going to be leaving the division, and so is Ilya. So everyone's going to kind of move up a spot or two. So he's getting lucky in that sense. But like they might even give him the Yusuf Zalal fight. I don't think they're going to do him any favors. I would do the loser of Yair versus Pitbull, but you can also do Yusuf Zalal. Those are the two matchups that I see. Thing is, Lerone Murphy's clock's kind of running out. He's like 33 years old. He hasn't lost yet, technically, but like he's got back-to-back performances that just weren't that good. He looked insane against Barbosa. He looked really, really good. He just looked so mid against Ige and so mid here against Josh Emmett. It was like, I guess he was just trying to show how defensive he can be, but it's, I don't know. Lerone Murphy wins. I say give him Yair or give him Pitbull, whoever loses. Josh Emmett, very low output. They're just going to use him as a name for people to kind of stepping stone it. And I think the Gene Silva-Josh Emmett matchup is going to be perfect. Regardless of whether Silva wins or loses, I think they're just going to give him like the type of opponent because Silva could beat Bryce Mitchell. I've been saying for a long time I'm going to be picking Bryce Mitchell, and I'm going to pick Bryce Mitchell this week. But he's a big underdog. There's an absolute chance that Gene Silva knocks him out. It's what a lot of people are predicting to happen, the odds makers, a lot of other people. I'm kind of over hardcoring it by taking Bryce Mitchell. I get that, but I'm going to pick Bryce Mitchell. If Silva wins, it's going to be Silva versus Josh Emmett. It's the right fight to get him in, moving up. It's a winnable fight for him, too, and it's one that, like, dude, if you see Josh Emmett versus Gene Silva booked, you're going to be sitting at the edge of the seat the whole time. You're like, who's going to land the big right hand and knock somebody out? That's what it's going to be. So I say Emmett versus Silva, Murphy versus the loser of Pitbull, versus Yair. We're gonna move on. They're both. I mean, the timeline matches up perfectly. Featherweight's kind of moving right now. They did a good job of making it move. Joanderson Brito is just thought he was much better than this, man. Like he's just tough with the fight IQ. He really struggles with the fight IQ. And Pat Sabatini is insane top pressure. Insane top pressure. I think you match up. It was just the story of the fight. He just kind of camped half guard the whole time, and he didn't let anything happen to Joanderson, or didn't let Joanderson Brito do anything to him. I thought Brito was going to be able to stuff a couple takedowns later, maybe, but he wasn't. Sabatini did a good job of remaining strong, getting it to the ground, and when it got to the ground, keeping half guard. And that's another thing is like Joanderson Brito, I should have fucking known. Like he doesn't really defend takedowns. He just lets you get into his guard and he tries to guillotine you. And if he can't guillotine you, he just tries to roll out from there. So he was going to accept the takedowns. And hindsight was Sabatini was going to have a lot of chance to wrestle in this fight. I just thought he was going to be a little chinny and get caught with something. So I was wrong. I did go 8-4. My overall record's like 89-44 right now. So I've been cooking. I'm just saying, since January, I've been cooking. But I think for Sabatini, the Ige Woodson loser next week, you have a ton of featherweight fights this weekend. You had a ton of featherweight fights last weekend. Getting a call from the homie to say, jump on Verdansk. That's coming later. Getting on Verdansk, getting a dub right away. I think Sabatini versus the Ige Woodson loser makes sense. Whoever loses is probably going to be just outside the rankings. It's Sabatini's opponent to beat before he gets into the rankings. And Brito, Steve Garcia, let's just get him in a violent fight. I think Brito versus Steve Garcia is a sick, violent fight that's not going to have much grappling in it. So I think Joanderson Brito, Steve Garcia is the one to make. It's just one that you're going to look at and be like, yep, main card of a fight night. Two guys that are just personify violence on the feet. It's going to be sick. Edge of your seat. Someone's getting finished. It's a good fight to make. So Brito versus Steve Garcia, Sabatini versus Ige Woodson loser. Moving on. Cortavius Romeus, honestly, he did look improved. And I know it's tough to say considering he got battered by Kang Ho Lee, but his scrambles were a lot better. He made a lot of dumb mistakes to get himself in the wrong position, but he's a super young dude. He's 5'4" for the division. Kang Ho Lee looked very good. Kang Ho Lee looked very good, very improved. Maybe it just goes to show like how good Zhao Long actually was. That him and Kang Ho Lee went to an absolute war, split decision. I think Kang Ho Lee looked tremendously improved in this fight. He was making a lot of great moves in the transition. There were times where I'm like, oh, Kang Ho Lee's an idiot going for this submission. Oh, he's going to fall off the top. Oh, wait, Romeus couldn't shake him off the top. Oh, he's kind of noticing something in the grappling that Romeus is always scrambling, he's always moving, but he's making the wrong decision to get out. Like, he had chances to get out a couple of times, and he improved. Like, he looked better than he did against Gaston Bolaños, but he was just outmatched in this one. I think he's improved his striking a little bit. He didn't see a ton of it, but like when he was on the feet, it was better than when he fought Bolaños. But Kang Ho Lee was just a fucking monster. All over him, all fight. I would matchmake Kang Ho Lee with like a Raul Rosas. I think that's a really fun fight to make. Kang Ho Lee scrambles like a madman. He's bringing the fight at all times. He's going to make Raul Rosas fight him. That's the kind of fight you use to try and get Raul Rosas back in the hype train. Because, dude, his hype train's dead to me. Like, he's in boring, stupid, ugly fights. So we're going to move on. Tavares versus Mearshart. Barn burner compared to the rest of the card. Tavares wins the first 2 rounds. Mearshart's win the third, just like I said. The brick wall takedown defense of Brad Tavares held up, just like I said. And Tavares was able to land stronger, land harder. God, I'm like choking up. I don't know. Maybe my voice is shit from the bachelor party, but yeah, I think Brad Tavares just did his thing. I'm going to say Brad Tavares versus Shara Magomedov. It's someone that Brad Tavares is going to stay on the feet the whole time. He's going to try and strike, not try and take down Shara. That's the perfect kind of matchup for him, and someone that I think Shara could possibly take the chin of. He's an older guy, but he's known for being a tough, gritty guy. It's one of those fights that you're kind of setting Shara up for success, and it's a bigger named guy. So I'm going to say Brad Tavares for Shara Magomedov. Don't worry, Gerald Mearshart will get match made in a second. Ode Osborne versus Luis Gurul. You guys watch me flip-flop back and forth on this. And I ended up changing to pick Luis Gurul. When I was saying it's Osborne, it's Osborne, it's Osborne. And Osborne did it the exact way I thought. He was just longer, harder to get to, and landed a big knockout shot. Great knockout from Ode Osborne. Gets back in the win column. I should have stuck with my gut. I just saw, I'm like, dude, am I going to keep picking all these underdogs and all these cards? I should be doing that because they're winning. And they're winning a lot. But Ode Osborne, great knockout over Luis Gurul. Luis Gurul is tough, can grapple. That reach is terrible for the division. And Ode Osborne has insanely long arms, but the reach for Luis Gurul was going to be a problem unless they got in the pocket, landed some shots. It was a problem. He tried to grapple, had some success at moments, had a really good takedown actually, but Ode Osborne ended up getting the KO win. Back in the win column after I thought he should be on a 2-fight win streak because I think he should be 14-7 after I thought he beat Ronaldo Rodriguez. But anyway, matchup Ode Osborne with Kevin Borjas. Torres Finney. This is just a boring ass fight. 30-27 Valentin. Honestly, my guy, what is his name? Tony Weeks or something like that? I think it's a baseball player, but like this judge, man, absolute beast. Honestly, nothing but respect to him. Good for him of looking at Finney and saying, like, fuck you, dude. You did nothing but grab the whole fight. You just pushed a guy against the cage and tried to hold on for dear life. Chose not to fight. Chose to try and survive. I don't get the hype behind Torres Finney. Actually, I do. It's a bunch of people that want to be more hardcore. So they say things like, I watched Torres Finney 3 times in the Contender Series. He stinks. He sucks to watch. He's very physically gifted. He's strong. And he can get takedowns because he's very strong. But they gave him a matchup of a guy that they knew he'd be able to take down. They thought he'd be able to finish him, but they couldn't. Torres Finney is going to run into one of these problems probably in his next fight where he's going to fight a guy that's super dangerous in the submission game or super dangerous or super good with the takedown defense. Like Brad Tavares probably brick walls him. Honestly, that'd be sick. But I'm saying the matchup for Finney's Meerschaert because I think Meerschaert's guaranteed to win that third round. That's what Meerschaert does, man. He drops the first 2, wins the third. And I think Meerschaert would find a way to beat Torres Finney. You can either cut him right away to make a point known and say, no, we're done. Fuck you. Every fight you're in is boring as shit. This is the most boring shit ever, dude. We make fun of Merab for being boring when he was boring because he had a good fight with Umar, but his other fights have been very boring. We make fun of him for that. He looks like a fucking absolute performer compared to Torres Finney. Torres Finney landed a total of 4 significant strikes. Like, what are you doing? You suck ass. Nothing about you is entertaining at all. God. This fucking blob of a dude. 5'8" middleweight with a ridiculously weird, lanky reach. Fuck this dude. Torres Finney versus GM3. GM3 beats him. I don't care. GM3 beats him. Moving on. He's not getting any more time, dude. Like, fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. Fuck this card, dude. I told you it's going to be a fucking mini recap. Finney is so fucking boring, dude. I'm sick of people being like, dude, he's good, man. He just holds people. And he doesn't try and inflict any damage. He's the kind of guy that you tell all your friends, dude, like, come watch UFC, it's a sick sport, it's the best one. And then a Finney fight goes on and they go, dude, are you sure you're not fucking gay? Like, he's fucking so annoying to watch. He's a fucking loser, dude. Oh my God. Now here I am just trashing a fighter. He sucks, dude. He fucking sucks to watch. That was such a fucking gay-ass performance. Anyway, moving on. Diani Belbita versus Diani Barbosa. Diani Barbosa got it done by sub. Pretty sure I picked her to get it done by either sub or decision. I don't really know, but got it done. Moving on, Reese McKee versus Daniel Frunza. Daniel Frunza gets knocked out. I thought it was going to be a decision win for Reese McKee. Daniel Frunza, to be fair, got much better at the end of this, but Reese McKee looked really, really, really good leading up. He knocked him down. They say 3 times. It was 4. I thought it was 4 knockdowns. Who did I match up? I didn't even match up Diani Barbosa. I don't care. Reese McKee got a great knockdown. Great 4 knockdowns. Frunza was getting beat up. His face looked like a mess. And Reese McKee looked very good. I didn't know he had that pop or that power. Maybe he just caught Frunza each time. And once he caught him the first time, it was just like, holy shit, he's beating his ass. But at the end, Frunza kind of got his shit together, like bit down on the mouthpiece and started throwing back and forth, trading, being able to slip, land counters. And I'm like, dude, is Reese McKee going to get fucking caught at this point? But he didn't. The doctor stopped it after round 1. It was a good win for Reese McKee. I like Daniel Frunza, though. Tough dude. Staying in it and landing some good shots at the end. This is going to be one of those guys that I think can He's gonna have some tough fights, kind of like this one, but he'll be able to build himself into this division. Maybe not a top 15 guy ever, but he's gonna be able to build himself in the division as one of these tough guys that are gonna be a gritty out. He'll get some underdog wins for you. I can see that happening. Reese McKee, I think you should match up with Zaleski Dos Santos. Makes sense to me. Both guys lost to Cheaty. Luma Luke Boom won a tippy-tappy decision against Stella Nunez. Shit, boring fight. Stella Nunez pretends like she wins fights when she doesn't do anything in them. Cut her, she's 6-6. Why is she in the UFC? Victor Henry wins a 29-28 decision. Falcao got a lot of really, really good takedowns in round 2, but Victor Henry got the knockdown in round 1. And then he won round 3 by pushing a pace, getting some working in his zone. This fight was boring as shit. I did change and make the picks on my Instagram page to pick Martin Boudet because there was a matchup change. So, but this guy Uran, like I got hopes for Uran in the light heavyweight division. Honestly, I think he just comes in on short notice, takes it against a much bigger guy, and he had some moments, man. We're gonna give it to him. Martin Boudet won though, and then Vanessa Demopoulos got dominated by Talita Alencar. Couldn't stroke the judges off enough to get a win there. But anyway, this is the mini recap and matchmaking. I'm not matchmaking anyone else. This was just a shit card, guys. This is just me talking about how terrible this was.